Four of Cups. Are you feeling stuck? I'd say yeah. When the Four of Cups comes up, it's we're stuck. We're not impressed by the options that we have. This is that kind of bored, apathy, same old, stuck in a rut. You can't see a way out. And you can't see a way out because, all right, you've got options, the 3 cups in front. Now, there can be 3 options, 3 problems, 3 issues, something like that, right? I always see them as 3 options. So we have 3 cups in front of us. But it's a her, I think. I don't know. They're a bit kind of androgynous. I don't know. So anyway, so you have this person looking at the 3 cups and she doesn't know which one to pick. And you know what? It's none of them. I always say if one of these options was even the slightest bit appealing to her, she would have grabbed him. But what she's looking for, what she's waiting for is this 4th cup. That's the cup she truly wants. And that's the cup that you guys want, right? So now the 4 of Cups can indicate an offer of love, you know, or you're waiting for that. That's the Ace of Cups moment, something that makes you truly happy. Like these are all kind of like, meh. It's that kind of energy around the 4 of Cups. So it kind of feels like that's what's coming in. I don't know though, guys. I think, I'm just going to say this because the 9 of Cups is telling me this. You guys want something. You want some shot at happiness. Whatever that Ace of Cups is for you, you know, the lover, the friendship, the job, the whatever. It's whatever that Ace of Cups is. And the Ace of Cups can be anything. The spiritual path, right? It's something that makes you happy, that your cup's overflowing. And none of the cups in front of this person appeal because, and sometimes we think we're never going to get that. Or we've offered our cup to someone and they're not accepting it. So it can be that. But I kind of feel like you guys are trying to settle for the 3 cups because you've kind of almost given up on this 4th cup coming in. I'm going to get to the King of Swords in just a moment. But the reason I'm saying that is because the King of Cups is in the past or the foundation. Now this can be last week, last month, last year. King of Cups, beautiful energy. I love the King of Cups. If this was a love reading, that's who we want to see because he's the ideal lover, right? But it's a general reading. But even then, he is very much, and I don't know who I was having a little rant about this with in someone's reading, but we've turned we've turned love into romance. We've turned relationships into just a boyfriend or a girlfriend and that, when they're so much bigger than that, right? I'm not trying to water down love. I think love is amazing and I think love is everything. But I think it should take prominence in our life and be everything in our life, you know, affect everything. Not just who we kind of go to bed with or who we cuddle with. Love affects everything. And that's not to put down. Romance has its place. Every relationship has its place, right? So the King of Cups, even if this is not love reading, whatever, he knows his emotions. He knows how he feels. The kings all have mastery over their suit. What does that mean? That means they've known their suit. This guy knows his emotions. He knows how he feels. He's very expressive. He's the one that will say, I love you. However, he is a king. So he won't do it until he's ready. So this can indicate someone who has deep feeling, real depth of emotion, but he doesn't always show it. Now, you know, it's cup, so that's water energy. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But I will say this, Taurus, and sorry to call you guys out, but you guys are like this. You guys are like this, that, you know, when you have feelings for someone or something, it's not, you don't go rushing in. You kind of mull it over, see how you feel first. You know, still waters run deep with the King of Cups, as they do with you guys. And I know you guys are the King of Pentacles, but I'm getting that kind of. So this may have been something that you had like deep feelings for, but you didn't say anything before. But you have the King of Swords coming up at the heart of the reading. That's how I know in the past. It doesn't have to be with the same person. So if this is romantic, you had deep feelings for this person. It doesn't have to be that. Say for a job you wanted to go for something. You had deep emotions, something that you were happy about. And I think you feel like you missed out on it. That's why the Four of Cups is coming up, because you've missed out on this cup. Guys, you're reading so beautiful. It's kind of coming through so strong. Sorry, I just got hit by a wave of it. So yeah, so you think you've missed out on this cup. You think you've missed out on it. That's why you're trying to settle now. No, no, no. You don't need to settle. Because there's a second chance coming in. Maybe not with the same person. Like I said, that's last week, last month, last year, right? But this time you're going to do it differently. You will do it differently, Taurus, right? Will you? Hope so, because you have the King of Swords at the heart of your reading. That's the focus. That's the focus here. I mean, the King of Cups, it's not like he doesn't say it. And usually I don't even focus on that aspect of him. He's the loving, caring, nurturing guy. He'll take care of you. He's going to take you out for romantic dinners. You know, he's the beautiful friend. He's a spiritual advisor. He's very healing. He's very intuitive. He's all those wonderful things. Everything that comes from cups, that's him. But it just feels hidden. It just feels hidden in the past, or it was rejected. But I wouldn't want you to see the Five of Pentacles or something with that. With the Four of Cups, it's almost like someone doesn't notice it. And someone wouldn't notice it if the King of Cups hasn't said. And the thing is, sometimes when you're not a very kind of emotional kind of person, you feel like you're doing something big to kind of reveal how you're feeling, but you're actually not. The other person kind of misses the sign. So I'm getting that kind of energy. But what the heart of the reading, the focus now is the King of Swords. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy, some of you might be dealing with that. You know, the kind of, it's almost become infamous, this kind of connection between Aquarius and Taurus. I still have to have my connection with the Taurus. I have to go find myself one. But yeah, so we have the King of Swords there. And the King of Swords, he's going to speak his truth. None of this, just feeling stuff and looking for the right time to say things or subtle kind of innuendos. No, King of Swords is going to come straight in and he's going to speak his truth. Now that's just it. That's the head and that's the heart. Either someone was really loving in the past and now they're kind of emotionally detached. But even the King of Swords, he has feelings. He just doesn't show them. He doesn't show them because, you know, not that he doesn't, not in the same reasons as him. It's because he's very logical. He's going to push emotions aside and think, okay, well, we should do this and we should do that. But the message I'm getting, the main message that's coming through, and of course, cards can be read in a million different ways. And the energies can play out differently for each of us. But the one that's coming through the strongest, and that's the one I focus on, is that someone didn't say their emotions in the past, or they weren't very clear about them. Now they are. Now they're almost very direct. Or if they aren't, that's the focus. Because what's at the heart of the reading is what we're working towards, what the focus is, what we're doing. But I don't feel like the emotion completely goes. That's why I believe the King of Swords is coming up as communication. As very clearly stating, this is how I feel. Why am I saying that? Because we have the Nine of Cups in the present. Your heart's desire, coming from your heart's desire. This person looks very different from this one. Look at this bored. What the hell? Is that all I get? Look on her face. Seriously? Look. And this one's almost smug. Look at all the cups I've got. He's a bit extra, right? I think it's a he. Well, whoever this person is. With the fur and, you know, the opulence and the gold bangles and all the cups. This guy has more than enough. This is your heart's desire, Taurus. This is your heart's desire. Now, I'm not saying every single person is going to get their heart's desire this week. That's not what the purpose of this reading is. The lesson to learn from this reading, and it's just a week, guys, right? As we go forward, some of you might be reflecting. But you know, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling stuck, because let's not forget that is the heart of the reading. The rest of the cards are trying to explain what's going on with this or how they work with this. If you're stuck and you feel like you missed out on something before, it's the past comes up to explain that, look, you had a chance to say something or to express, and it's a general reading, so it can go both ways, right? But how would you know that? Maybe they're trying to explain to you what happened with the other person, but I wouldn't get that. I usually think the message comes through for us. That you had a chance to say something and you didn't say anything. So would you, if you had that chance, would you say it this time? Would you do it? Would you go forward with your truth? With that sort of truth held high? And just be able to like cut to the chase and say what you needed to say? Because that's what's coming in. It's about the lesson learned. Would you do things differently? And we don't have the Wheel of Fortune coming up, but it's almost like that. That's what it feels like. If the opportunity came up. If the opportunity came up. Because I think that's also about manifesting. That is the wish card, right? You can keep regretting what you missed out on or what the chance that went. Or you can focus anew on what it is that you want and bring it into your life again, knowing that you will do it differently this time. That you will say something. And guess what? If you can do that, remember the future doesn't just happen. The future never just happens. It is, what am I trying to say? It leads on from it's a projection of the present. So can you decide what your heart's desire is? Not focus on what's missing, not focus on the shit that you have in front of you. Because that's what most people do. They look at what's before them and they react to that. But this is about going within. What is my wish? You know, forget that. I want that cup. What does my cup look like? What is it that I want? If you can do that, then guess what? There's a second chance because that's judgment. transforms you, it changes you. Yeah. And I'd say that's a bit of a transformation, going from the King of Cups to the King of Swords. And don't forget, like, the secondary message is always that there's people like that in your life, but there's a main message that comes through for us. And I always read that, right? And that Judgment card coming under the King of Swords, this is rebirth, renewal. I mean, it's like death, but these people are getting a second chance at life. They had to die. They had to let the old life go. And that's what the review is, looking back. You're looking back and thinking, wow, I missed that chance, or I should have said that. But trust me, guys, I mean, one thing that I don't do, and I do a lot of things, a lot of stupid things, I'm going to say, but they're not stupid. They're just who I am, right? Is I don't regret. I always believe that I did the best that I could in that situation. And that next time I'll just do better. Regret is like the biggest waste of energy that you can ever, because what could you do? And you can look at it, which is what Judgment tells you to do. Take the lesson from it, draw a line under it and say, right, not doing that again. Let's move on. Let's go try this again. That's Judgment. And that's the phoenix rising up from the ashes. These people have a second chance at life now. So I think you're going to get an opportunity again, whatever it was that as the King of Cups, you had deep feelings about, but I don't think you went for it. Well, either that or it was rejected. But like I said, the rejection's coming up secondary to this. This is more of a clearer statement. This is more, can you stand by your word? That's the King of Swords. He stands by his oath. His word is, you know, whatever he says, he stands by it. Very intelligent, very articulate, very kind of, he's going to make his point very clearly. You get your second chance. King of Swords is above this. Yeah, you bet he'd take advantage of the second chance. What's the advice? How do we get to Judgment? How do we get to this rebirth, second chance, phoenix rising up from the ashes? Well, we have the Fool as your advice. Leap of faith time. That's what it says. And you know what? This is actually perfect. We have the King of Cups above it. What do I always say about the Fool? If you follow me on Instagram, you've heard me say this a million times, because I say it every time it comes up. The only map you have now, Taurus, the only map you have is where you've been. That's the only map you have. But you're going somewhere completely new. It might be a second chance, but, you know, you want to do things differently this time. If you want to do things differently, the only map you have shows you how you did things in the past. Massive amounts of love, but, you know, if you don't act on it, if you don't say the things or go for the things that you have feelings for, whether it's a job, a person, whatever, go for your heart's desire, what's the point, right? So with the Fool coming up, this is saying it's leap of faith time. And you go do it for the experience. You want a different experience. You don't want that old experience. You don't want to be stuck there looking at your options, right? You know that if that cup comes in for you, you're going to grab it with both hands. And that's what it's telling you. It's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the feelings as the King of Cups mulling it over. Just say it. Communicate like the King of Swords. There's no guarantees. There never are. But there's never a guarantee with anything. You can have people that promise you the bloody sun, moon and the stars, and then they turn around, back off out of that. So then you'd never go from what the person is saying. You never go from what's presented to you. You always go from how you feel. Can you communicate how you feel? Now, for some of you, it doesn't mean that you missed out on a chance. It's just that you've been feeling stuff. You've wanted that job for a long time. You've been interested in that person for a long time, but you just not said anything. Well, how long are you going to wait? What are you waiting for? And I don't mean to be mean. I know what it's like, guys. Trust me. Trust me. I get it. But it feels as if you guys are ready for this. You guys are ready for this. The Fool would not be coming up till you take a leap of faith unless you had faith, right? I think you have faith. You want this new experience. You've had these feelings for a long time. It's time to start expressing those. It's time to start saying how you feel. It's time to start living from your heart and going for it. Because these are very kind of heart-oriented energies. But imagine that. Imagine if both your head and your heart were working together to go for what you want. Damn straight you could resurrect any old dream that, you thought you'd lost out on. Of course you don't have to settle for the 3 options there then. But yeah, it's leap of faith time. New experiences. And you trust. The King of Swords always knows what decision to make. He always knows what to do. So with the Fool coming up here, this is saying, that as you go forward, you have to trust. You don't have to trust the path. You don't have to trust what comes up on it. You don't have to trust that it's going to work out with whatever you pick. It's the fact that you take the leap of faith and that you will deal with it. You will land on your feet no matter what happens. And the Fool knows that. That's why he doesn't even bother looking down. He's like striding ahead. Right. It's really interesting. And I will say this, and this is for those of you, because I know there's a lot, I've seen the comments, Taurus and Aquarius people, that Aquarius got the fool, that they're starting a new journey. So some of you might be headed on a journey with an Aquarius, or they're heading on a journey with you, right? Taurus, seriously. Physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he comes from a heart space. Yeah, he comes from a logical place, right? He uses his words. But I kind of feel as well, this is not, I mean, for some people, you're in relationships and stuff, or in friendship, you know, someone just needs a hug, or there needs to be more kind of bedroom antics. That's what's coming up for some of you. But I don't get that as the main message. Physical touch is the physicality of this. Because all of this feels like it's going on in someone's head or in someone's heart. It's not being expressed. Because why else would you be told to take a leap of faith? He feels it. He says it. But there needs to be more physical stuff, right? And that includes, even if it's not a relationship reading. You can feel it. You can do the thing. But are you going to take the actions, the step, the physicality of it? See what that is. Mending, yeah. This can be fixed. This can be fixed. Absolutely. Mending means to make amends, you know, that if it's broken, we fix it. We mend it. We patch it up. And it can be. It can be. I think there's a sense, I mean, the Four of Cups is the Judgment isn't the most delightful of energies, but it causes transformation and leads to amazing, like, face the future without fear. And it kind of feels, I'm not playing it down. I understand, for those of you that this is your message, it's tremendous. It's really easy for me to say, yeah, open your mouth, say something and stuff. This is kind of, take some kind of like Herculean effort to do this. Otherwise judgment wouldn't be coming up. This is big, but it's a massive transformation for you. Get used to it, Taurus. You guys are changing in major ways. So we have mending, like I said, and it can be patched up. It can be fixed. It can be fixed. But Four of Cups is the only kind of downside, and that's feeling stuck and bored, and that tells you everything. You're not happy with the options that you have. You're not happy with the options that you have. Dearest you, as you think, so will you experience life. Thoughts are that powerful and they need minding. Let the unruly, chaotic ones settle down so they serve you or get released instead of wreaking havoc. These thoughts arise when connected to the energy of fear and often masquerade as truth. Yet the real truth is that essentially all is well. Of course, you have thoughts that are positive, strong, organized, accepting, creative, open, and so on. Those are the ones we want you to keep thinking, and they have a less frantic quality. They're stimulating in a good way and don't get away from you. How do you keep an inner eye on your thoughts? Meditate and leave judgment out of the mix. Everyone has those fearful thoughts. Love them, love yourself, and then choose the thoughts you want the world to reflect back. Life is not as hard as you think. Loving you so much. Obviously, the person that wrote that isn't a Taurus, but no, I'm joking. But guys, think about it. That's the thoughts, right? The King of Swords. But he doesn't have unruly thoughts. You know, he's very decisive. He's the king, you know, he's got mastery over his suit as well, just like he has. And there is this kind of manifestation energy. And you know what's manifestation? Knowing what your heart's desire is, knowing what it is, knowing that you don't have to settle. If you're prepared to go into areas that you haven't been explored before, doing things differently, taking leaps of faith, you've got every chance to resurrect any dream, any kind of project that you wanted, a relationship even. But you have to give it your all. There's no guarantees. You can sit and wait for it like this and be nonplussed and stuck. Or you can try something, anything. At least that way you kind of wipe that energy off and think, well, okay, damn, I tried everything. Let's go try something else now, right? So, I mean, I love this reading. I have to say, the last one I did for you guys, I swear that was like, oh, I felt so bad for you guys. I don't know if it showed, if you guys watched that, but this is amazing, guys. You're doing, I think a lot of you have decided, I'm not getting stuck here. I don't want this. This is not what I want. So yeah, if I was the King of Cups in the past, but it's not like you're giving up on the King of Cups energy. That's an amazing energy to have. You're kind of adding to that. You're like augmenting that. It's now you've got the King of Swords coming in too. And I know you're not ditching him because the Nine of Cups is coming up too. So you're using the best of both worlds. Like you're using your heart energy to manifest what you want. That's why, you know, you get this second chance at whatever it is you're looking for.